But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
All right. Well, good morning, good Sunday morning, and welcome to you here at the Church of Agnostic. And my name is Uncle James, and I am your wandering agnostic seeker and teacher. So today's Sunday morning sermon, we're going to go into something that has been relevant to our household here recently. So I'm going to go into story time. So feel free to get your coffee, tea, whatever it is you like to drink, your breakfast, whatever, and sit back, relax, because it's going to be a bit of a story time. And so let's get into the video. So to begin today, this Sunday morning, I'd like to discuss a dream that one of my roommates had. And in this dream, he dreamt of this woman who was in a coma, or is in a coma, we don't know. And we don't know where this woman is. In the dream, he had the woman was in the hospital bed, and hospital somewhere in a mountainous area with lots of pine trees. You know, that could be anywhere. We just don't know. But he did describe the woman as being a woman with reddish blonde hair, kind of small, petite, maybe a little bit, green eyes. He did mention specifically the green eyes. When he started getting vivid and detailed about about the details, and I kind of started listening, because like, okay, this might be something interesting. So this woman or girl came up to him when I was asking him for help. There were no other details given, no other requests, no other, she didn't ask for anything else. She just wanted some help. So this was the first dream that he had of this woman. And he wanted to know why or how this woman could be reaching out to him if this woman was in a coma. To which I'll give the answer here in just a minute. There were some other interesting things that happened in the household while he was having these dreams, and he had a series of them, about 2 or 3 of them. One night, we all awoke in the household. I didn't hear what was going on this night, but apparently one of my roommates woke up with this loud screaming going on and someone beating on the door. Well, he got up, investigated, and looked, and there was no one in the house. There was no one outside the apartment or anything like that, knocking on the door or anything. So he looked around and didn't find anything, and he went back to bed. That woke me up. Him getting up, with all the commotion, that woke me up. And I had to woke up and I had to go to the restroom. So I got up, and I distinctly smelled this very vivid smell of cigarette smoke and booze. Just a nasty kind of, and trash. It was kind of an unpleasant smell, and it was very strong in the house. Now, I compare this smell because to another earlier event, just as a side note, a drunk person tried to get in our house one day, beating on the door, knocking, trying to let me in. And this guy literally smelled like raccoon in a dumpster. He smelled like booze all over. And we're going to make that story a short story. It wasn't his house, and we told him to get the hell away. It wasn't his house. And we weren't the first apartment he did that to, so apparently other people were, trying to get him out. But it was that distinct smell of the booze and the cigarettes and whatever else he was smoking and all of that was just particularly strong. Even through the door and through the walls where I was in, it's like it was strong. It was a strong smell. It was distinct. Well, come to this night where we heard this disembodied screaming, I started smelling the same thing. Like it just smelled like trash and dumpster and smoke and booze. Definitely booze. Just booze through and through. So that was an interesting event. Now, if anyone knows me in my spiritual beliefs, I don't allow attachments. I do not allow apparitions in the house. I do not allow demons or ghosts in the house that are not there for a benevolent purpose. So having this happen after, and believe me, about a few weeks prior, I had made the intention that if anybody in the world of the unliving, I'm talking about the spiritual realm, wanted to get in contact with us, that they could through dreams. Because I believe that is a good apparatus for a spirit with benevolent intent, with good intentions, to speak if they have a message for you, if there's something they need to relay, either from your ancestors or from your guides or from God. These could be angels. These could be the angels of God. If they have a message, dreams is a really good apparatus that, it's in your head and you're having the dreams, but it's not like an, out of body, where, all of a sudden you get this apparition out of nowhere and you're scared to death and you're frightened because, oh my God, this crap is happening. So dreams is kind of like this low key way of, receiving information and receiving messages, particularly if they're on repeat. And I'll get to that in a second, about the repeating dreams and visions and stuff like that, because there's something to that. So, all right, so we had this incident. So my roommate had, my other roommate had the dream again, this time a different night. Same girl with the green eyes, reddish blondish hair, who's wandering around, and this time gave a little bit more information, was asking for help because she feels like she's stuck. She doesn't know where her body is, or either that or she can't get into her body. She doesn't know where she is, and she doesn't know what to do. And she feels frantic and she feels stuck. And the first time when my roommate told me that story, I said that, even in a dream, you can come with the intention of letting the person know, or this entity or spirit know, that, you're willing to help them, and there's other people that are willing to help you. I believe he relayed this intention, or she knew this intention, and to which she replied in this dream that she was only comfortable with him helping her and nobody else. So when he woke up the next day and told me that story, that, she only wanted help from him, I kind of like, yeah, he's in his 20s. He's not particularly spiritually, adept. He hasn't been around long enough, and he isn't particularly religious or anything like that. And I told him, I said, look, you need to decide how you want to approach this entity that's repeatedly, approaching you in these dreams. You have the power to set your own intentions and to set your boundaries, and that's even in the physical world, and that's in the spiritual world. You just have to set the intention to say, hey, I'm not going to be messed with spirits, so don't come to me, don't talk to me. If you don't want spirits coming to talk to you, then set that intention. It's as simple as that. There are some other situations that I can bring up, and I'll bring that up here in a little while. Just bear with me. We're getting to some good stuff. I'll give you some insight here. So I told him, I said, set the intention that, I told him, I said, look, here's the truth of the matter. God is a loving God. And having said that, knowing that God is a loving God and He's all-knowing, He's all-powerful, and He exists everywhere. Nothing outside of this earth exists, or nothing in this earth, or in this universe, for that matter, exists outside of God. So it's part of Him, and He's a part of this, and God is within Him, and God is within that particular girl, or that spirit that's running around. So I told him, I said, God being a loving God, He is going to have ministering angels, and He is going to allow the participation of loved ones that have passed on before, and your soul tribe, people that you have known in other lifetimes, to come and help you. There are many people, many beings, angelic beings, that God can use to come and assist people in situations like this, where if you find yourself disembodied and you're in the spiritual realm, and you're stuck and don't know where to go. Now, let me be clear. There are two reasons this could be happening. One reason, if you're stuck in this spiritual limbo outside of your body, and you're, like say you're in a coma, your body's still alive. It's just you're in a coma, but you're outside of your body. Which normally, in under normal circumstances, is not supposed to happen. Usually, when you're disembodied, whether in a coma or near death or upon death, actual death, there are people that come to you that are there to assist you. There are your guides, appointed by God, angelic beings appointed by God, that are watching you all the time, specifically for situations like this, where you get into a tizzy, and they're there to help you along to where you need to go. Whether you're supposed to go back to your body, or move on to your next life, or come to heaven. The second reason, well, let's say that the first reason this happens is because it's an accident, in which case a being, and that does happen, the accidents do happen like that. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because we're here to experience not perfection, right? This is not a mistake from God. God doesn't make mistakes. The reason why these things happen is because we're here to learn a lesson from them. There's a reason for it. Same reason why if you're living on here on Earth and you feel stuck in a situation, whatever it may be, whether you're stuck in financial, or you're stuck in relationships, or let's say you're stuck in an abusive situation that you can't get out of, right? These things happen, and it happens in the spiritual world as it does in the physical world. And this presents an opportunity, a lesson that God is trying to teach you, how to overcome this feeling of being stuck, to where God is saying circumstances do not matter. Okay? Knowing this and arming yourself with this insight and this spiritual knowledge that this situation that you've got yourself in is most likely, and I'm almost 100% guaranteed through my faith, that these are spiritual contracts. These are, you come to this earth and you have made every choice already, that in every encounter, in every situation, already preordained for yourself, including situations like these where if you get in a coma and you get disembodied, or let's say you die and there are people that have these near-death experiences, and they go and they experience certain things in these near-death experiences. They go to certain places, either go to heaven or they go to where God needs to, and the universe needs to express something to them. There's something there to learn. That's why they're there in that particular case of a near-death experience. You're outside of your body. Your body is freshly dead, or your body's still alive in a coma. Well, going back to what I was saying about circumstances don't matter, the feeling of being stuck is it's an illusion. It's not real. But it's a teacher, the feeling of being stuck. What in your life have you ever encountered that has made you feel stuck before? Whether it be an abusive relationship before mentioned, or financial, maybe you're stuck in your finances, you can't move. Maybe you feel stuck in your life, you're stuck in your relationship, whatever the case may be. Bring that feeling up into your heart, into your mind's eye. You bring it up into yourself, and you tell this feeling that I created you. I created this situation that I'm in. And guess what? I have power over it. So you need to ask yourself, what is the lesson that I need to learn? Well, that's just it. That you've learned this, that I don't like this feeling of being stuck. Now I know that this is something I created beforehand, long time ago, before I was born. And now I have power over it. Circumstances don't matter. This goes for the living, and it goes for the not so living, or the not so dead, I guess, or the dead, or whatever you want to call it. For the situation with the young woman with the green eyes and the reddish blonde hair, whose body is stuck in a coma, she is either going to continue to experience that feeling of being trapped, or being in limbo, in spiritual limbo, being disembodied for time, and that could be by her own design, depending on how her higher self has contracted her self to experience that situation. So she could be there for some time doing that, just depending if that's something that she has made for herself. Understand that we're not here on this earth to make choices. You've already made all the choices, just like you heard at the beginning of the video and all the videos that I have. You're not here to make choices. You're here to understand the choices that you've already made. Well, what does that mean? Why? What is that? Predestination? What about freedom? Huh? What? I thought we have, God gives you freedom. Oh yeah, He does. And it's a very interesting conundrum, knowing that this is a three-dimensional world, which is governed by time, past, present, and future. We live a linear life. Linear means time in the here and now. You live 1 minute to the next. Right? But in actuality, your higher self is everything that you always have been and always will be. Your higher self is both past, present, and future all together at once. Now, that's where we can even start to begin to understand. How can we be here and have already made our entire life before us, every second, every minute, every hour, day, every year, from beginning to when we're born until the day that we die and come back to heaven, to the spiritual realm. We're here because we chose to be. And so you have either, if in that experience of that girl with the, with the reddish hair and she's in a coma, that's an experience that she's going to have to learn. But regardless of the choices that you've already made, you can still ask for help. You have guides. God is a loving God. God has ministering angels, loved ones, past family members that are there ready to help in situations like this. And in some cases, that's the lesson to learn. Not only the lesson that this is a situation that you've made for yourself, but also to ask for help. There's the answer to that lesson. One answer to that lesson is to ask for help. The other is to know that if this is a situation that I've created for myself, how I can get out of it by myself. But not everybody has the answer, so not everybody is sure how they can do it. A lot of times it just takes vibration and willpower to say, this situation does not exist as me. My true reality is XYZ. But sometimes, especially in the spiritual realm, when you're in a body, make no mistake that when you're in a body and you live in flesh and you come here to learn, there is momentum between your higher self and lower vibration, which is being less than your higher self, which are being more separated from God. And in your body, in the human mind, you have an engine to go from low vibration to high vibration. But when you're out of the mind, when you're out of the body, that momentum stops. And you're stuck between at what level of whether you're at high vibration, closer to God and your higher self and your true being, or you're at a lower vibration, meaning being more separated from God. Knowing this, it is preferable to learn these lessons while you're in your body, because it takes longer outside of your body. It can happen. It takes longer. It's something about the separation from God, or the perceived separation from God, right? God is in everything. God exists in everything. He's not in some cloud somewhere on a big throne playing a harp or whatever, anything like that. That's not what's happening. That's a lie. We are always connected to God. Always. It's just we're here on this earth, and this reality is condensed into 3D, where the perception of our senses is everything. All the stimuli that we get is through the mind, the eyes, the ears, the flesh, where we can feel, taste, and touch. And this is where we get all of our sensory perception. Our connection to God is shut off. Is not shut off per se, but it is, the perception is not there. We can't see it, even though we are always connected to God. It's this contrast, though, or what I like to call the dark, icky, oozy 3D world, that is separated from the light, airy, wonderful goodness that is the loving grace of God. And it's in this contrast, this darkness, that allows us to perceive these lessons in very stark contrast. Imagine, if you put a white plate, a white saucer plate, on a pitch black background, that little saucer plate is going to really contrast with its surroundings, right? And it's that stark relief that really draws attention to it and allows us to learn from these things. And that's why we're here on this earth, to experience the darkness, to experience the suffering, and to experience these lessons. That's not the only reason we're here. The good news is that that's only half the coin. That's only half the battle. The other half of this side of this coin called life is that we're here to also experience the good things in life, all the wonderful things that life has to offer: joy, happiness, love, abundance. These things are here for us to experience as well, in the same relief, in the same starkness. Because when we're connected to God and we're in heaven with God, we are all loving, we are all love, we're all good, all happiness. Everything is complete, 100%. You lack nothing. And make no mistake, even in your body, your higher self, and even your body right now, you have everything that you need. This universe has everything that you're ever going to want. It's just our perception of it is what is distorted. And that is by design. And so, knowing that we are forever connected with God, even in these situations where we may be stuck in a coma and our body is popped outside of our body and we're spiritually wandering around like a ghost, it's because of this lack of knowledge and lack of understanding is why we're running around being stuck all the time. That's why these videos that I make in this channel, the Church of the Agnostic, is a legacy for me to leave on this earth, to dispense this knowledge and understanding, that while you have ears to hear and understand is when you can start beginning to understand. And when thoughts become things, and when you can understand these things and you start to know these things, is when you can start to grow, right? Knowledge is the beginning of wisdom. And when you have the knowledge and understanding, these little tidbits of understanding, is when we can truly begin to grow. It's like watering water for plants. Plants can't grow without water. And water is likened to the knowledge that is available on this earth, hidden, right? Knowledge is hidden from us, and we have to go get it. We have to seek it out, because that is our design. That is one of the purposes of life, is to go and begin to understand these things. Some people will learn by hearing and watching from other people's idiotic examples, right? But some people are not here to learn that way. And you will find that out. Most people probably watching this video know that there are people out there, no matter, you can tell them till they're blue in the face how to get out, how to do, what to do, they're not going to hear. Until they hit that brick wall, until life hits them in the ass, right? Is when they learn those lessons. And that's probably because that is their life goal, that is their karma. In other words, to experience this life, and just hit all of the pitfalls and all the minefields one by one, regardless, and not hear a damn thing anybody else has to say about it, right? So people that you see on TikTok getting into all kinds of situations, all the time, the people that are choosing violence, people that are choosing to be ignorant, just getting ignorant out there. It's okay. They're going to have to learn it one way or another. There are certainly people that do live and die without learning a damn thing because of stupid mistakes. And what happens is in situations like that is you get out of your body and you return to your higher self because of the difficulty of the circumstances that you have made for yourself by design. In some cases, may take a few tries. So that's why we like to say that when someone is making their mistakes, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They're in their path, and they're in their lane, and us going around trying to getting frustrated because we're telling people you can't do that, you can't do that, you got to do this, everybody has their particular place, and everyone should be allowed to decide for themselves where they're going to be. We have our emotional guidance system, and it allows us to, if we really truly listen to our body, and I'm not talking about our idiotic wants or ignorant wants, I want this, I want that. No, if you're truly in a place where you're not supposed to be, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel, this isn't me. And it's a different feeling from, oh, I'm just uncomfortable, let me go, I think I'm hot, let me go turn on the air condition. It's not that kind of. This is a true, you're in a wrong place, and it's not going to feel, you're going to feel out of place. You're going to have that constant feeling of, I feel out of place, I don't feel like I belong. If you're feeling that, that's your emotional guidance system letting you know, perhaps I should be seeking something else. Looking for that knowledge, in other words. So going back to the lady with the coma, like I said, she will probably be experiencing that for some time until it is her preordained design time, her choice, as it were, to get out of that particular state of being. And we can pray. We can all pray for that particular woman. And I've set my experience. I live under an airport, so forgive me. Sorry about that, folks. So we can pray. We can set our thoughts and intentions to assisting other people in situations like this, that God is going to send you the help that you need to get out of that situation. Whether it's in the spiritual realm like this example, or if it's in a situation that you're living in life, and all the problems that get thrown at you in life, you can ask. That's the beauty of this life. Yes, we're here to learn how to overcome these things ourselves, but it's okay to ask for help. And if you ask for help, it will be given. So that is pretty much the story that I had for you today on this beautiful Sunday, to let us understand that we are here by choice. We've already made all the choices. We're here to now understand all the choices that we've made. And that every experience, particularly the ones that are the bad experiences, or the ones that are the most memorable of experiences, the ones that really stick in our minds, those are the ones that have the biggest lessons to learn. And in every situation that happens to you, it doesn't happen outside of you. Things aren't happening as opposed to you. In other words, right? Things are happening because you have made it so. And you just got to learn, you just got to tell yourself, okay, this happened. What is the lesson now that I need to learn? What is God teaching me now? Okay. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you made it this far, leave a like and subscribe if you'd like. I will be uploading weekly sermon videos. I'll also be uploading various series out on various things. I do have the Meaning of Life series. If you haven't seen that, go check those videos out. Those are very interesting. I mentioned a couple things in this video about, what our purpose is here in life, and that we've already made our choices as higher selves, as we've made our contracts already. So we've made our contracts. Check out the Meaning of Life series video that I've uploaded, because it's going to be a lot of insight into that, of who is God, who we are in relation to God, and why we're here on this earth. And I go into detail about that. So check that video out. There will be more series later on, so keep tuned. I will notify everybody when a new series is going to come out. But in the meantime, these weekly videos will be coming out every Sunday with a little sermon, a little story time. So I hope you enjoyed. So I'd like to say at the end of every video, and you probably, if you've seen the other videos, I'll say the same thing. I ask myself the question, or I'm playing devil's advocate. How do I know all this? How do I know that I'm right? I tell everyone that I'm agnostic, and this is the Church of the Agnostic. Right? This video channel is about the agnostic way. And how do I know any of this is right? Well, I don't. I don't know that anything that I have to say is the correct way. I don't have proof of it. I have faith. That's all anybody ever has. There's a million voices out there, many religions out there that claim to have the way and to know the way, but guess what? All they have is faith. They don't have proof. And that is by design. And I go over that a little bit in the Meaning of Life videos. What do we do when there's all these voices, all these answers, but which one do I choose? Well, in the meantime, it's a pickle, no doubt about it. And whether you accept what I have to say or not is completely up to you. You're just going to have to make up your own damn mind.